Welcome back to the channel. It was the dream car for an entire generation, a symbol of success and style that everyone understood. When you think back to the 1950s, it's impossible not to picture the sleek lines and vibrant colors of the 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air gliding down the boulevard, the sun catching its chrome trim like a gleaming promise of a bright future. For many, the first sight of that iconic two-tone paint scheme, perhaps a dazzling turquoise and white, was akin to catching a glimpse of a Hollywood star. It was more than just a car, it was a ticket to freedom, a rolling testament to the post-war prosperity that was blossoming across America. If you were around back then, you'll remember how the air was thick with the sound of rock and roll spilling out from the radio, mingling with the laughter of friends gathered for a night at the drive-in theater. And there, parked under the stars, was the Bel Air, with its panoramic windshield and unmistakable shoebox design that seemed to capture the very essence of the American spirit. It was a car that turned heads and sparked conversations, inviting admiration from all who laid eyes upon it. Under that long hood lay a powerful 265 cubic-inch V8 engine, a marvel that produced approximately 162 horsepower. It was the kind of engine that made your heart race, a mechanical symphony that sang with every turn of the key. You didn't just drive a Bel Air, you experienced it. The thrill of acceleration, the roar of the engine, the wind whipping through your hair as you cruised along the open road, these were the moments that filled the memories of countless families and young dreamers. But to truly understand the charm of the 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air, we must first grasp the America that created it. This was a time of optimism, where the nation was rebuilding and redefining itself following the trials of war. Families were expanding and the car became an extension of the home, a sanctuary on wheels that held dreams, adventures, and the promise of tomorrow. So buckle up, dear friends, as we embark on a journey through time, exploring not just a car, but a cherished piece of the American dream that continues to resonate in our hearts today. In the heart of Detroit, a city pulsating with ambition and innovation, the air was thick with the spirit of competition as the American automotive industry raced towards a golden future. The year was 1955, and within the hallowed halls of the Chevrolet division of General Motors Company, two visionary figures were shaping the landscape of American cars, Louis Chevrolet and William C. Durant. These men, whose dreams were etched into the very fabric of the automobile, had laid the groundwork for a revolution that would touch the lives of families and individuals across this great nation. Louis Chevrolet, a skilled race car driver and engineer, brought a passion for performance and a love for speed. His vision was to create vehicles that not only moved people but stirred their souls. Alongside him was William C. Durant, the dynamic founder of General Motors, who possessed an uncanny ability to foresee market trends and consumer desires. Together, they fostered a culture of innovation that would lead to the creation of cars that were not just modes of transportation, but symbols of American identity. At this time, the atmosphere in Detroit was electric. General Motors was locked in a fierce competition with Ford and Chrysler, each company striving to outdo the others in style, performance, and technology. The stakes were high, and the creative minds at GM, led by the brilliant designer Harley Earl, were determined to capture the hearts of a nation eager for change. Earl, with his bold vision, introduced the concept of the shoebox design, a sleek, modern aesthetic that broke free from the heavy curves of the past, embracing straight lines and striking two-tone paint schemes that caught the eye and delighted the senses. The factories hummed with activity, each assembly line a testament to American ingenuity. Workers, proud of their craftsmanship, poured their hearts into every vehicle that rolled off the line, knowing they were creating more than just cars. They were building dreams. The mood was one of optimism, as the post-war economy flourished, and families looked to the open road, ready to embrace the freedom that came with it. The drive-in theaters were filling up, and young couples were cruising down the boulevards, the wind in their hair, the radio playing the latest hits, a soundtrack to their shared adventures. As the competition heated up, Detroit became a melting pot of ideas, with engineers and designers pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Each car produced was a reflection of the hopes and aspirations of a nation on the rise, a symbol of the American dream that resonated deeply with the public. This was the vibrant tapestry that gave birth to an iconic vehicle, a car that would not only define an era, but also become a cherished part of the American landscape. As we continue this journey, we will soon uncover how the spirit of these dreamers in Detroit culminated in a masterpiece that captured the very essence of post-war America. As the world emerged from the shadows of the Second World War, America found itself humming with a palpable sense of optimism and possibility. It was the mid-1950s, and the air was thick with the sounds of rock and roll, as icons like Elvis Presley and Chuck Berry began to reshape the musical landscape. If you were around back then, you'll remember how teenagers flocked to the local drive-in theaters, the excitement palpable as they piled into their cars, ready for a night of flicks and fun under the stars. The Chevrolet Bel Air was not just a car, it was a ticket to freedom, an emblem of youth culture that resonated deeply with the aspirations of a generation. The nation was in the midst of a thrilling transition, with the dawn of the space age just around the corner. As Americans looked to the skies and dreamed of sending rockets into orbit, they also yearned for a vehicle that could take them places, whether it was a weekend getaway to the beach or a cruise down the highway with friends. The Chevrolet Bel Air was more than just metal and machinery. It was a response to the desires of young families and upwardly mobile professionals who sought a blend of style, performance, and practicality. It had a sleek design, featuring that iconic shoebox shape that turned heads wherever it went, and its two-tone paint schemes added a splash of excitement that echoed the vibrant energy of the time. Under the hood, the Bel Air boasted a powerful V8 engine, a promise of speed and reliability that appealed to drivers eager to feel the rush of acceleration as they hit the open road. Imagine the thrill of that first press on the gas pedal, the roar of the engine, and the wind whipping through your hair as you cruised down Route 66, the quintessential American highway. It was a time when the automobile embodied the spirit of adventure and exploration, reflecting a culture that celebrated individualism and the pursuit of happiness. The Chevrolet Bel Air was also a symbol of post-war prosperity, a vehicle that families proudly parked in their driveways, representing their hard work and dreams for a brighter future. The car's design was not just about aesthetics, it was about making a statement. It was a declaration of hope and ambition, mirroring the changing landscape of America, where the suburbs flourished, and the dream of a better life was within reach. The Bel Air captured the essence of an era that embraced change while holding on to the values of family, community, and the thrill of the open road. As the Bel Air rolled off the assembly lines in Detroit, it was clear. It wasn't just a car, it was an invitation to join in the American dream, a dream that was just beginning to unfold. As we slide under the hood of the 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air, let's take a moment to appreciate the heart that truly made this car beat. Picture yourself on a warm summer evening, the sun dipping low on the horizon, and the unmistakable sound of that V8 engine rumbling to life. It was more than just an engine. It was a symphony of power, a promise of adventure, and a reflection of the American spirit. The Bel Air's engine, a 265 cubic inch V8, was a marvel of engineering that brought a sense of pride and exhilaration to anyone behind the wheel. This engine wasn't just about numbers, it was about the experience. With approximately 162 horsepower and 257 pound-feet of torque, it delivered smooth acceleration and a satisfying growl that made heads turn wherever you went. When you pressed the gas pedal, you could feel that power surge through the chassis, propelling you forward with a confidence that only a true American classic could provide. It wasn't just about getting from point A to point B, it was about the journey, the wind in your hair, and the open road stretching out before you. The design and engineering behind the Bel Air's V8 were emblematic of a burgeoning car culture that celebrated freedom and individuality. In an age when families were taking to the highways for weekend getaways and drive-in theaters were the place to be, the Bel Air was the perfect companion. The roar of its engine told stories of Sunday drives, of teenagers cruising with the radio cranked up, and of couples stealing quiet moments under the stars. It was a car that invited you to escape the mundane and embrace the thrill of the unknown. Yet, This engine also represented something deeper, a symbol of post-war prosperity and the American dream. In the aftermath of World War II, the nation was eager to move forward, to build a future filled with hope, and the Bel Air was right there at the forefront. It was a powerful reminder that after the hardships, America was ready to roar back to life, and behind the wheel of a Bel Air, you felt that resurgence in every rev and every mile. With its 3-speed manual transmission or the optional Powerglide 2-speed automatic, the Bel Air offered a driving experience that was accessible yet thrilling. Whether you were cruising down Main Street or hitting the open highway, the combination of that V8 engine and the smooth handling made every drive feel like a celebration. It was the perfect blend of power and sophistication, a car that could take you anywhere while making you feel like royalty. As we continue to explore the legacy of the 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air, let's remember that beneath that sleek exterior and the stylish design lay a powerhouse that not only defined an era, but also captured the hearts of a generation. It was a car that truly embodied the spirit of America, a spirit that still resonates with us today. As we slide into the driver's seat of the 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air, we find ourselves enveloped in a world that feels as vibrant as the paint that adorns its body. The design, a masterful creation led by the visionary Harley Earl, comes alive with each curve and contour, embodying the spirit of a nation eager to embrace the future. The iconic shoebox silhouette, with its straight lines and slab sides, is not just a feast for the eyes, but a declaration of style and confidence. When you sit inside, you don't just experience a car. You step into a piece of history that whispers tales of sun-soaked roads and balmy summer nights. The panoramic windshield invites you to gaze out over that long, proud hood, creating a sense of openness that feels liberating. It's as if the entire world is laid out before you, waiting to be explored. You grasp the steering wheel, and it's a moment that transcends time. The cool, smooth texture beneath your fingertips connects you to the countless hands that have held it before, each one igniting the same thrill of adventure. You can almost hear the laughter of friends, the crackle of radio waves filled with rock and roll, and the distant sounds of drive-in theaters where love stories unfolded under the stars. And let's not forget the colors. Oh, those colors. The two-tone paint schemes that adorned the Bel Air were nothing short of a celebration of individuality. Whether it was the striking combination of turquoise and white or the bold red and black, each choice was a canvas of personality. The car was not just a means of transportation, it was a statement, a badge of honor that said, "I'm here and I'm ready for fun." Sliding into those roomy bench seats, you felt cradled in comfort, the soft upholstery inviting you to take long drives without a care in the world. As the engine roared to life, you could feel the vibrations course through your body, a reminder of the power lurking beneath the hood. An engine that didn't just move you forward, but propelled your dreams. The experience was more than just driving. It was a connection to an era when the open road symbolized freedom, and every turn was an opportunity for adventure. In a world still healing from the scars of war, the Bel Air stood as a beacon of hope and prosperity, embodying the dreams of families who sought to enjoy the simple pleasures of life. It was more than a car. It was a testament to the resilience of the American spirit, a reminder that no matter the challenges ahead, the road stretched endlessly towards new horizons, just waiting for you to take the wheel. As the sun began to rise over the American landscape in 1955, the streets buzzed with anticipation for a car that would soon become the king of the road, the Chevrolet Bel Air. It wasn't just a vehicle, it was a movement, a celebration of the post-war optimism that had settled over the country like a warm embrace. With its striking shoebox design, the Bel Air stood out with straight lines and a panoramic windshield that seemed to invite all who gazed upon it to take a ride into the future. When it rolled off the assembly line, it was more than just another model from the Chevrolet division of General Motors Company. It was a declaration of American ingenuity and style. In a world where competition roared to life, the Bel Air faced off against formidable rivals like the Ford Fairlane and the Plymouth Plaza, cars that sought to capture the hearts of families and young professionals alike. But the Bel Air had something special, Underneath that sleek hood lay a powerful V8 engine, boasting 265 cubic inches of pure adrenaline. With approximately 162 horsepower, it was a force to be reckoned with. As you pressed down on the gas, you could feel that surge of power, a thrill that made you forget about the mundane worries of life, if only for a moment. Picture this: a summer evening in a small town, the sun setting in a golden glow, and the sound of rock and roll music filling the air. Young couples would line up their cars at the local drive-in theater, laughter and excitement bubbling over as they revved their engines. The Bel Air, with its distinctive two-tone paint schemes, would steal the show, catching the eye of every passerby. When the light turned green, it was the Bel Air that surged forward, leaving its competitors in a cloud of dust, the sound of its engine echoing like a promise of adventure. On the streets and at the stoplights, the competition was fierce. The Ford Fairlane might have offered its own charm, but it couldn't quite match the Bel Air's blend of style and performance. And while the Plymouth Plaza had a sturdy reputation, it lacked the charisma that made the Bel Air a household name. You see, it wasn't just about speed, it was about the feeling of pride, of belonging to a community that celebrated freedom on four wheels. As families piled into their Bel Airs for weekend getaways, it became more than a means of transportation. It became a vessel of memories. From road trips to the beach to Sunday drives through the countryside, the Bel Air was there, taking its place as the heart of countless stories. The king of the road had arrived, and it was ready to continue its reign, carving a path through the fabric of American life. As the 1950s unfolded, the Chevrolet Bel Air quickly cemented its status as not just a car, but a cultural icon that would etch itself into the very fabric of American life. If you were around back then, you'll remember the thrill of seeing that two-tone beauty gliding down the boulevard, the glint of chrome catching the sunlight, and the unmistakable roar of its V8 engine echoing through the streets. It was more than transportation. It was a statement, a symbol of the post-war prosperity that defined an era. The Bel Air became a star in its own right, gracing the silver screen and television sets, capturing the hearts of audiences across the nation. It made a memorable appearance in the classic film American Graffiti, where it was driven by teenagers looking for adventure on warm summer nights. That vibrant scene of cruising under the stars, with the Bel Air as the centerpiece, perfectly encapsulated the spirit of freedom and youthful rebellion that defined the decade. The car wasn't just a vehicle, it was a vessel for dreams, a way to escape the mundane and embrace the excitement of life. Television, too, couldn't resist the allure of the Bel Air. It became the trusted companion of beloved characters on shows like Happy Days, where it was driven by the ever-cool Fonzie, a symbol of the quintessential American teenager. Every time that shiny Bel Air pulled into the driveway, it was a reminder of simpler times, where friendships were forged over milkshakes at the diner, and cruising with the top down was the ultimate expression of cool. The Bel Air was a character in its own right, embodying the carefree spirit of youth and the promise of adventure. As the years rolled on, the Bel Air became synonymous with the American dream, an emblem of family road trips, summer vacations, and cherished memories made along the way. It was the car that took families to drive-in theaters, where laughter and popcorn filled the air, and the big screen lit up with the latest Hollywood blockbuster. It held the laughter of children in the back seat, the chatter of friends, and the quiet moments of reflection as the miles rolled on. Today, the Chevrolet Bel Air continues to resonate deeply within the hearts of classic car enthusiasts and collectors. Its legacy lives on in car shows, where its vibrant colors and distinct design draw admirers from all walks of life. The Bel Air stands as a testament to an era marked by optimism, creativity, and the unyielding spirit of America. This beloved automobile is not merely a relic of the past, it is a cherished piece of history, a narrative woven into the American tapestry, reminding us all of the joy, freedom, and adventure that life can bring. As we draw our journey to a close, it's essential to reflect on why the 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air continues to matter, not just as a classic automobile, but as a symbol of a bygone era that resonates deeply with many of us. Today, the Bel Air stands tall in the pantheon of collectible cars, where enthusiasts are willing to pay handsomely, sometimes upwards of $50,000, just to own a piece of that history, a piece of their youth. Seeing one gliding down a sunlit street evokes a sense of nostalgia that is palpable. It's more than just a car. It is a time machine, transporting us back to simpler days filled with drive-in theaters, sock hops, and cruising down Main Street with the radio tuned to the latest hits of the day. Collectors cherish the Bel Air for its stunning design and innovative engineering, a true testament to the skill of its creators, Harley Earl and Claire McEachin, who crafted not just a vehicle, but an icon. The two-tone paint jobs, the panoramic windshield, and the unmistakable shoebox silhouette have made it a canvas for personal expression, each customized Bel Air telling its own unique story. In car shows across the country, you can still hear the collective gasps of admiration when a beautifully restored model rolls in, its chrome glistening under the sun, reminding all of us of the joy and pride it inspired in its heyday. But beyond its monetary value and aesthetic appeal, the Chevrolet Bel Air embodies a spirit of freedom and optimism that marked the post-war years. It represents a time when families took to the open road, embracing adventure and the promise of a bright future. Today, as we navigate a world that often feels fragmented, the Bel Air reminds us of the bonds formed during those summer nights spent cruising with friends, the laughter shared, and the dreams that felt limitless. So, as we part ways, let us remember that the 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air is more than just a car. It is a cherished piece of American history, a symbol of dreams realized and memories forged. It invites us to reflect on our own journeys, the paths we've traveled, and the stories we've built along the way. For those who remember it, the Bel Air is not just a memory of the past. It is a celebration of life, a reminder that even in the fast-paced world we inhabit today, there is always room for nostalgia, adventure, and the thrill of the open road. As we embrace the future, let us carry forward the spirit of the Bel Air, holding on to those precious moments that remind us who we are and where we came from. If this story brought back some good memories, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. It truly helps us keep these legends alive. But more importantly, I want to hear from you. Please leave a comment and tell us your story. Did you or your family own one of these? What was your first car? I read every single comment, and your memories are what make this community so special. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you for the next one.